Life systems failure.
And so I'm out here walking Charlie like I do every day, and this is when I get a lot of my inspiration in terms of ideas and such, throughout all aspects of life. And like most of us, my mind has been on the victims of Hurricane Sandy in the Northeast. And I just want to lay some thoughts on you guys. I don't want to lay any guilt trips on anybody. I'm just thinking out loud here. So please don't feel like I'm preaching. I really don't mean to. But these are our people. These are Americans who are homeless and have lost everything. Winter is upon us, and there's going to be a liberal or 10 that'll pop up here and say, "Well, were you like that when Hurricane Katrina hit? What'd you do for them?" I think a lot was done for the folks down in Katrina. A lot could have been done different. But just like Bush is no longer the president, Katrina is not what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with Sandy. I always get messages in the middle of my YouTube videos. But we're dealing with Sandy, which happens to be the name of my late sister. May she rest in peace. And she was a hurricane too, let me tell you. I love her dearly. But, what if we stopped sitting around shaking our heads, our collective heads, and complaining about what Obama hasn't done or what he's done, and, what the governors are doing, and how wrong it is to run this marathon, and all this other stuff. What if we all, literally, all of us, put every ounce of effort into thinking of what we personally could do? I think the Jews have some kind of a saying about lighting one candle. If you light one candle a day, the world will, something like that. But what if we all lit a candle? What if we spent this weekend thinking about what can we do? And, we're all in different positions in life. Maybe the most we could do is donate $20 to Red Cross because we're out of work ourselves. Or we don't have a lot of money. But you know what? If we're poor, and anybody listening to me, but you have a roof over your head and hot water and electricity, then donate $5. But I want to take it a step further because this is something I'm thinking about, and don't hold me to it because I've got to sit down with my wife when I get home and talk about the logistics. But I'm way down here in Virginia, but I'm thinking about notifying the Red Cross and seeing if maybe I could somehow facilitate getting a family who has lost everything down here, and I'll give them an extra bedroom. I've got an extra room in my house. I can shift some kids around and give them a bedroom and a bathroom and a shower and a really kick-ass Thanksgiving dinner and a Christmas, and maybe even their kids might have to enroll in school for 6 months. Who knows? Like I said, I'm just thinking about this, so it may or may not happen. But one thing's for sure, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something this weekend. I'm going to find out what is the maximum amount I can donate, and I'm going to donate that because so often Americans. One of the Canadians actually on my video about Hurricane Katrina and prepping, or Hurricane Sandy, sorry, and prepping and lessons learned. One of our Canadian friends came on and commented about how America is always helping other countries, and some people find that statement arrogant, but fuck it, it's totally true. We are always sending help to other countries, and I don't see them lining up to help us. We got to help each other. To use a overused statement or saying, we got to make sure that we personally are on the right side of history at the end of the day here. Meaning that when we're talking to our grandkids about Hurricane Sandy, that we're not just telling how bad it was, how we shook our heads, but what we did to alleviate pain and suffering for American citizens. There are Americans right now digging through the trash cans in New York to eat. I won't fucking stand for that. And I don't think you will either. There are kids that look exactly like your kids who have lost everything and are worried about what their future holds. I gotta pause this. Somebody's walking their dog and they're gonna want to stop and talk. All right, back with you. That was a very nice old guy with his dog. And cute. Charlie, wait, stop pulling me, you big water buffalo. Slow down. Charlie, you want to go back in the water? It's like 30 below. And that's what the guy was talking about, was how Charlie doesn't feel the cold. I said, man, this fat guy is bred for hunting ducks, and I don't hunt. But I can't really remember where I left off, man. I got memory loss. I'm getting old. But the point is I think I was talking about being on the right side of history. Look how beautiful this scene is. I always got to show you guys. Charlie. But what is it that we can do, you know? At the end of the day, are we going to be able to say that we've done everything within our power to alleviate the pain and suffering of our brothers and sisters? You know, those of you that are veterans, like myself, and again, this is not a guilt trip, this is a conversation. But we were prepared to give our lives to defend these people. So we don't have to give our lives to defend them today. We just have to think about what it is we can do for them. Oh, Charlie boy. Looks like a U-boat surfaced. Right rudder. But speaking of Hurricane Sandy, here's the victim right here. But maybe some of you live closer to the disaster zone, and maybe you have an extra room. Maybe you could take two of your kids who have their own rooms and put them together, you know, for a month or whatever you can do to give these. Listen, we're all going to be judged one way or the other, even if it's just by our peers or our own conscience. But, and again, that sounds like I'm laying guilt on you. Look, man, I'm just saying, let's help our brothers and sisters. If we can donate money, let's donate money. If we can figure out a way to physically bring them into our homes and share what we have. And I know there's logistical problems, you know, I mean, I'm not, look, you know, I'm a law enforcement dude. I'm not thrilled about the concept of some strange people in my house. I mean, with my luck, I'd house, you know, one of the freaking only serial killers that hasn't been caught yet or something. But, you know, that's what I mean when I say I got to really think about this. But all I can say is I'm going to do something. I'm going to do as much as I possibly can and make sure that it's more than I've ever done. This whole election, everything, it's all about saving our country. It's all about hearkening back to the days of George Washington and the founding fathers, where everything wasn't peaches and cream, but those people's hearts and minds were for the betterment of America. And so I'm really calling upon all of you to do what I'm doing, which is just simply soul searching and seeing what it is you're capable of doing. How far can you bend for Americans without breaking? I certainly wouldn't want to guilt somebody into doing something where they donate money and then end up having their own problems, or bringing somebody into their home and then it turns into a nightmare. Think about it. That's all I'm asking. And no matter what you come up with, I know it'll be the right thing. Because if you're watching this channel, chances are you're a squared away person, not because it's my channel, but because whatever the name I give this video called to you and had you watch it. I wish there was a way to shut that little chime off, and there probably is, but I'm just not the smartest guy walking around. Anyways, I hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe.
Force field failure imminent. Systems failure.
Login rejected.